From Southern Colorado's high-definition news leader, this is News Channel 13, where the news comes first.
A deadly accident in downtown Colorado Springs. This is a live look right now. The intersection still closed. Where and what happened? Just seconds away.
And a police officer shoots and kills a man in a small southern Colorado town. And there are a lot of questions tonight. We are live getting answers in Rocky Ford.
A fire tonight forces a family out of their Colorado Springs apartment. Fire investigators now searching for what sparked it.
And a woman who's Colorado strong. Her fight with breast cancer and how her son's soccer team helped save her life. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Heather Skold.
And I'm James Jarman. And first up, let's get you back to that breaking news tonight. A deadly accident right in the heart of downtown Colorado Springs.
It happened at Tejon in Colorado. The crash involved a motorcycle and minivan. Police say a van turned west onto Colorado when a motorcycle on Tejon was heading north and crashed. 2 people in the van were not hurt. That intersection is closed indefinitely. We'll be sure and update you with any new information we get tonight.
A woman is grieving the loss of her fiancé and the father of her unborn child. He was killed in an officer-involved shooting in Rocky Ford. That is about 60 miles east of Pueblo.
Today, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation released the names of the 2 men in the shooting. The victim is 27-year-old Jack Jaquez. The officer is James Ashby.
KRDO News Channel 13's Emily Allen talked to the victim's fiancé. She joins us now live in Rocky Ford.
James and Heather, candles are burning outside of the victim's home tonight. He lived here at his mom's house with his fiancé. His fiancé says she cannot come back to this home right now because the memories are too painful. Mariah Hawkes has pictures and memories to cling to. These are what she will use to tell her unborn child about her dad. Mariah didn't want to go on camera. She's overcome with grief by what happened early yesterday morning. Jack Hawkes came home around 2 a.m. She says Officer James Ashby forced his way through the door shortly after. The men were shouting at each other in the home. She says Ashby fired 2 shots. She says one barely missed her. She's 4.5 months pregnant. Neighbors have set up a makeshift memorial in front of the home.
Undecided on it. It sounds screwy. The police not saying anything.
Neighbor Bill Skinner has been checking in on the victim's family.
They're talking all right. They're not all choked up, but they just not saying a whole lot.
One Rocky Ford resident says the shooting has rocked this small town.
We know everybody, we grew up with them, we go to school with them. So it does affect everybody in the community. It's really sad that something like this has to happen.
Jack Hawkes does have a criminal record in Colorado. It includes arrests for possession of drugs, theft, DUI, and other traffic offenses. His fiancée insists that was his past, and they had a promising future together. His fiancé wants the officers who were involved in this incident to be taken off the police force. I did speak to the police chief earlier today. He said at this point his lawyers have advised him not to comment. The officer that did fire that shot is on administrative leave during this investigation. In Rocky Ford, Emily Allen, KRDO News Channel 13.
Thanks so much, Emily. Well, a fire forced 2 people out of their home tonight in Colorado Springs. It happened at an apartment complex. It's in the 5000 block of El Camino Drive. That's near Academy and Union. Firefighters were called there around 6:30 tonight. Everyone got out safely. No one was hurt. One firefighter rescued the family's cat during that fire. Firefighters are still investigating to find out what caused it. It is a mystery the CDC is trying to figure out tonight how a Texas nurse came down with Ebola.
The CDC is now looking into what procedures were or were not followed. Nina Pham was part of the team caring for Ebola patient Thomas Duncan and wore the mandated mask, gown, shield, and gloves. But health officials say there was a breach in protocol but don't have specific details.
Well, one step being closely evaluated is the removal of personal protective gear.
If it is contaminated, there's the possibility that a worker will contaminate themselves and become infected in that process.
National Nurses United, the largest nurses union in the country, is now calling for more training. Meanwhile, tense moments for passengers aboard a plane at Logan Airport in Boston today. 5 passengers on the flight coming from Dubai had flu-like symptoms. An airport spokesman says none of those passengers came from West Africa.
Gas prices nationwide are falling, and drivers in southern Colorado are seeing relief at the pumps.
$2.99 a gallon. Yeah.
That's right, $2.99 a gallon. They even dropped it to $2.98 for a little while today. Drivers are flocking to that Colorado Springs Sinclair station. It's at Fillmore and Nevada. Gas is under $3 a gallon, and the average price for a gallon, by the way, in Colorado Springs, $3.17. In Pueblo, it's $3.15. An economics professor at UCCS says there are several reasons prices are going down, including a weak economy in Europe, China, and Japan, and more oil production in the U.S. Well, thousands across the southern U.S. are cleaning up tonight after a string of storms swept through the area.
At least one person in Arkansas is dead, several injured. Arkansas was the state hardest hit by those storms. The National Weather Service reports the twisters' winds were well over 100 miles an hour. You can see a lot of damage done there.
Rachel, not too bad around here. I mean, we can feel fall, though, in the air for sure.
Absolutely. Temperatures today were actually below average. It was a chilly day out there despite all of the sunshine that we had. The great news is, though, tomorrow we're warming the temperatures up by about 10 to 15 degrees, so it should feel a bit more comfortable to spend some time outside. We're looking for a high tomorrow of 71 degrees in Colorado Springs, so it was below average today. Tomorrow it's going to be well above average. Average temperatures in Colorado Springs, 64 degrees. 75 degrees will be your high temperature in Pueblo. A lot less wind tomorrow. But before we get to that warmth, we have a cold night ahead of us. Frost advisories go into effect at midnight, staying in effect until 8 o'clock in the morning. If you park your car outside, not a bad idea to give yourself a couple extra minutes tomorrow morning. Put the defrost on, get some of that frost off the windshield because that could slow you down. And temperatures tonight will be cold enough where frost is expected. We're in the 40s right now. We'll continue dropping, though. Overnight lows tonight getting into the 30s. We will be dropping to freezing in Colorado Springs, below freezing for both Pueblo and Canyon City. So a cold start to the day tomorrow, a warm finish. We have another warm day on Wednesday, but then we have another cold front headed our way. That will cool the end of your work week. And we have another one headed our way this weekend. What all of that means for you with your 7-day forecast, that's coming up in just a little bit. James and Heather, back to you.
Thanks so much. El Paso County voters should see mail-in ballots at your home tomorrow. The county clerk mailed more than 333,000 of the ballots this morning. The ballot includes races for federal, state, and county offices, of course, along with various state and local questions and issues.
And on the ballot this November in El Paso County, a measure that would set aside $2 million to go to county parks. Bear Creek Regional Park is one of 12 that would benefit. The money will be used for upkeep and expansion. Supporters say it's a win-win for everyone, but one opponent says keep your money.
$8.41 is real money. I mean, it may mean the difference between some food at the end of the month, and I get that. But for the people who really need that money, I would argue they need free, safe, well-maintained parks and trails even more.
They have millions of dollars in the city and the county and the state that they spend on parks every year. They don't need your tax refund. They don't need to grab the last nickel out of your pocket. You should vote no and keep that $8 for yourself.
But meanwhile, in Pueblo, voters will decide on a half-cent sales tax for police and firefighters. Our partners at the Chieftain report the City Council will decide tomorrow if they want to support Question 200. It would create a half-cent sales tax for 5 years. The money would be used to buy public safety equipment and fill positions in both departments. And you can read much more about that in tomorrow's Chieftain. And you can find all your coverage of Decision 2014 at KRDO.com in the top stories section. Every Monday this month, we wear pink for breast cancer awareness, and it's awareness and persistence that saved a Colorado Springs woman's life.
At just 43 years old, she received a bombshell diagnosis. But as KRDO News Channel 13's Rana Novini reports, she didn't let it win. She proved she is Colorado strong.
It's these ordinary moments on the sidelines of soccer practice that make Emily Rudolph feel lucky.
There were times I didn't go to soccer practice because I didn't feel good.
Last summer, her luck was tested. It started when she felt a lump in her armpit.
Went through a series of tests, had a mammogram, an ultrasound, an MRI, and nothing was diagnosable.
But there was a nagging feeling, so Emily talked to another doctor, someone familiar.
Her boys play soccer on our son's team. My husband's the coach. She did a needle biopsy on me and immediately diagnosed me with stage 2 breast cancer.
It was the ordinary moments.
Fear is the first thing.
The chance to watch her kids play soccer.
You have no idea what you're up against.
The chance to be with her family.
I live with 3 boys, 4 if you count my husband.
That made Emily fight.
When they can make you smile at your hardest point, that's when you know you're going to make it. And probably the best advice I got was from my doctor, who said, you know, attitude is everything.
You can't control the cancer, you can't control some of your side effects, but you can control how you react to that.
With support from Dr. Pomeranke,
Emily has been a tough chick the entire time.
Emily decided to have a double mastectomy.
Just take them both and get rid of them.
Now, less than a year since being diagnosed,
I'm done. I am done with everything as of April 23rd. I did all 4 chemos, had my surgeries, and I'm free.
Free.
How can you not be thankful around all this?
And back in the game.
Come on, guys, let's do fast feet.
Emily and Dr. Pomeranke's message is awareness. Self-test, get regular mammograms, and if you feel something is still wrong, it is okay to get a second opinion. Reporting live in the Newsplex, Rana Novini, KRDO News Channel 13.
Thanks so much, Rana. You can find several breast cancer resources at KRDO.com. Just click on the Wear Pink Mondays banner. Rachel?
Well, it's no secret here at Channel 13 we do something really cool, and that's provide one of these Storm Tracker 13 weather books to every 5th grader in southern Colorado. But there's a lot of information in here. It's not just for 5th graders. If you want to get your hands on one of these books, it's easy. Come down to the Pikes Peak Library this Saturday. The entire Storm Tracker 13 team is going to be there. We'll be giving away these books. We'd love to meet you. Say hey, so mark your calendar. We're going to be there from 10 o'clock until 2 o'clock. And as far as your weekend weather, well, Saturday's not looking bad, but we do have a couple of cold fronts moving through this week, including this weekend. We'll track what that means for your forecast with your 7-day forecast. That's right after the break.
And a homegrown homebrew favorite scores some big honors. Trinity Brewing and the stout honors that came its way.
And it wasn't a do-si-do, but partners did switch it up tonight on Dancing with the Stars. That's next.
Well, an exciting night of switch-ups on Dancing with the Stars. For some, it worked. Sadie Robertson and her partner were the top performers with 36 points.
Yeah, not so much for others, though. Michael Waltrip and his partner back at the bottom, they only got 20 points. No one was eliminated tonight, but that's going to change next Monday, right here on KRDO News Channel 13. Rachel glued to the set tonight watching that, the partner switch.
Always entertaining, right?
You know, that show makes me feel bad about myself because whatever bone you're supposed to have to make you move like that, born completely without it. I have no rhythm whatsoever, so it just makes me sad that I will never be able to dance like that. Take a look at some of the things that we are tracking here over the next couple of days. Tomorrow morning, it is going to be a frosty start to the day. Heading into work, you're going to be grabbing the coffee, the jackets, the earmuffs, if you still wear earmuffs. But then by tomorrow afternoon, you can ditch it all. It's going to be quite warm by tomorrow afternoon before we cool down once again heading into this weekend. So let's jump right into your high temperatures. Situated about 10 to 15 degrees warmer tomorrow than it was out there today. Well, it's 71 degrees in Colorado Springs, 75 in Pueblo, with low to mid 70s across the plains. The best news for those of you watching in the plains right now, the wind going to be non-existent tomorrow. It should not be as big of a factor as it was out there yesterday and was again out there today. We'll have 50s and 60s up across the high country and the mountain valleys. Sunshine from start to finish, from 6 a.m. to noon. We'll have the sun in place, and from noon all the way to tomorrow evening, we're only going to be tracking that sunshine. So really should be quite a pleasant day to spend some time outside. One of my favorite days, because one of my favorite sights are those snow-capped mountains up against our Colorado blue skies. This picture is submitted to us by Robert Mass, taken in Estes Park. Mountains should look stunning tomorrow afternoon. We'll continue to warm up. Wednesday, 80 degrees will be your high temperature. Then we get some changes. A cold front moves through Thursday afternoon, so we're going to kick the wind up again on Thursday. Temperatures will cool slightly heading into Friday, and then we get another cold front that pushes through on Sunday. That's going to drop your Sunday temperature to 60 degrees. It's also going to bring back a slight chance for storms. Pueblo tomorrow, 75 degrees will warm the temperature by about 10 degrees heading into Wednesday, and then we'll fall back into the 60s by Friday. So Friday becoming a bit more October-like. We'll warm up Saturday, then cool down again on Sunday, but Pueblo, as well as Canyon City, looking dry for the entire next week. A very quiet week of weather. 74 degrees tomorrow in Canyon City, 80s expected on Wednesday, and then we'll drop into the 60s Friday. We'll stay there through the weekend and into early next week. Teller County, 62 degrees tomorrow, 69 on Wednesday. Teller County, when that cold front moves through on Sunday, we are going to see a slight chance for a few showers during the afternoon. This could translate to a few snowflakes along the peak, so keep that in mind. I want to show you this video that was submitted to our Facebook page, also from Estes Park, taken by Robert Mass, and I just think it is amazing. Look how spectacular that elk is. Just huge.
Yeah.
I could not resist showing that because I think it is so cool.
That is a large animal, too.
That is a.
I don't know if I'd want to be standing that close.
Well, I think you can see them zoom in, so I think that they're
Okay.
a safe distance away. But just to kind of see him, he looks like he's in a fairly public area.
Oh, yeah, they're all over
Tis
the
the
place up
season.
there. You go to the hotel, and they're just milling around the whole place.
They're so cool to see. I have never seen one that big, but I have seen a few, and yeah, they're a little intimidating. Those are
for sure.
It's a big animal, but very cool. Should continue to see some of those sights, and should be
Get
a
up
great
there.
weekend to head up to the mountains.
Yeah, head up. You need to stay at the Stanley Hotel up there.
What? There's ghosts there, I hear.
The Shining. Hey, Colorado Springs Brewery, nothing haunting about this. They are earning top honors. The awards they raked in at the prestigious Great American Beer Festival.
Yeah, where you can taste their award-winning barley and hops. Up next.
Which is the quote hardest beer. Hi doing. It's like one of the toughest beer markets in the country.
Break into?
Okay. Huh?
To break into? Or?
No, just because 50. I'm coming here. 56% of all pours are craft pours there. Where in Denver, it's like 15%. So I mean, that should.
That's why when I came out here, people were like, "Oh, this is the microbrew capital." I'm like, "What?" Like Oregon, they were like,
Yeah.
My senior final was in a brewery for presidential speeches.
A local brewery is clinking their glasses for cheers after winning one of the most sought-after honors in brewing. Thank you very much. A medal from the Great American Beer Festival.
Yeah, Trinity Brewing was the only brewery in Colorado Springs to win this year. But as KRDO News Channel 13's Jonathan Petramala shows us, this is not their first taste of success.
Trinity Brewing didn't write the book on beer, but they probably could.
We've won a medal 4 out of 5 years.
Not just any medals.
Great American Beer Fest is the apex, it's the pinnacle of American beer.
For the second year in a row, their electric cucumber won a medal, this time a bronze.
5,500 different beers, and out of 5,500 different beers, only 240 got medals, or 230 something got medals. So we're doing pretty good.
Pretty good, but not easy.
There is a lot of thought behind it, you know, when we're making relationships with local farmers, when we're timing exactly the right 3 days when we can use cucumbers every year.
I think Jason and I are more artists in the beer form.
If brewing's an art, water would be a blank canvas. These tanks, the easel, ingredients, the paint, brewer's gloves, the paint brushes. And if it all comes together correctly, you have a masterpiece.
It's very comparable to painting. There's endless creativity.
Electric Cucumber, just one of 46 portraits you can pour in a pint that Trinity has brewed over the past year. On the books as one of the best beers in the world.
And now don't be rushing out to Trinity to try and get the Electric Cucumber because it is a seasonal beer, so it's only available starting in June usually, because they're a brewery that locally sources all of their vegetables or spices, everything they try and get locally here in Colorado. So cherries from the Western Slope, apples, etc. So it's pretty unique, and it's interesting in these batches of Electric Cucumber, 240 pounds of fresh cucumbers they use.
Is that right?
In every batch of these beers, yeah. So they won the gold medal last year, and this year they got the bronze. They say what happened, the yeast turned a little bit, so it affected the taste. So it just shows you the things that they have to go up against to make these
really
beers, make these beers fantastic. And so
These were full when you came into work tonight. After
They were full before the story was shown.
What's going on? I like they do the wax though on there.
yeah,
So, yeah.
it helps with the taste. Yeah,
Good
Keep it
stuff.
fresh.
All right, coming up in sports, if you like to get drunk on athletics, I've got some stuff for you. Sports ahead. You got it. Capturing Colorado? No, you can kill it.
What I liked about this one, because I'm not a big really it was very.
So that's a cucumber beer? That's a cucumber beer?
Yeah. They were the first brewery, maybe the first or second brewery in the world to use cucumber. Yeah.
I remember Medford, our director, was doing his garage was doing. It was tasted good. Check in to see if maybe got out of the business, maybe started a brewery.
The owner, though,
No, I'll cut him down. Just hang with me, Pacheco. You got it.
Sommeliers,
Yeah.
the actual guys that make it, they're not into all that.
This isn't the first thing, right, Pacheco?
You're supposed to spit it out if you're tasting it.
We got 2 roll VOs, not this.
Look at the leg on that baby.
For D2, D3.
Yeah, you tell it's got good legs. Tip it up, dip it back, and how it comes off the glass. You want it to come back in like a sheet. The thicker it is, the better. Yeah, the thicker the legs, the better it is. Mythical indicator of wine quality.
Now, Rob Namnoon with Southern Colorado's award-winning sports.
Good evening, everybody. For a second time this season, Broncos linebacker Danny Trevathan will miss time due to a knee injury. Now, in yesterday's game, Trevathan dislocated his left kneecap, and when it popped back into place, he cracked the top of his kneecap. He will miss the next 3 to 6 weeks. The Broncos may put him on the injured reserve designated to return list, which would mean he'd miss the next 8 weeks. Trevathan, you recall, broke the little bone below his left kneecap during training camp. Now, former Bronco Eric Decker had a pretty good day against his former team, but you can tell right here, Peyton, I miss you so much. Please come back to me. All right, that's not what he said, but Decker, he didn't play last Sunday because he was dealing with a hamstring injury, and the Broncos believe they know why.
That look good. His hamstring look pretty good to me, man. Look good.
So he's sandbagging is what you were saying?
I know sandbagging, but I mean, he probably could have played last week, but he saved that juice for us, though, you know.
The team the Broncos will play on Sunday. The Niners were in St. Louis tonight. Halloween came early because Colin Kaepernick is frightening when he is on. Cap to the former Bronco. Brandon Lloyd, an 80-yard hookup for a TD. 49ers went on the road tonight, 31-17. Before today, Daniel Breer of the Avs had 299 career goals. None came as close with the clock getting ready to expire like the one he scored today in Boston. What an ending in Beantown today for the Avs. Pick it up tied at 1, time winding down. Jan Hayda going to fire a shot. Breer on the doorstep, shoots and scores, beats the clock. How close was it, you ask? He scored with a half a second left in regulation. His 300th career goal. The Avs earned their first win of the season, 2-1. Finally, it's time to honor some of the top prep performances of the week with a segment we call Slap Me Some Skin. We go back to last Friday when Jace Hall of the Classical Academy rushed for 113 yards and 2 touchdowns in a Titan win, and for that you can slap me some skin. Also on Friday, Elway Tubbs of Vista Ridge accounted for 5 touchdowns and a grand total of 306 yards of offense in a Wolves victory, and for that you can slap me some skin. Also on Friday, Justice Luttrell of Doherty rushed for an impressive 140 yards and 3 touchdowns. And before the game, his brother Jordan, who was in the Army, surprised him with a great homecoming and a hug. And for that, you can slap me some skin, and we will be right back.
Welcome back, and look at this. You're capturing Colorado tonight. We wanted to see how you spent this sunny Monday, and this picture's from Austin Perry.
Sweet. It's his niece and nephew at a pumpkin patch in Swink. Please send us your pictures to capturingcolorado@krdo.com.
See you tomorrow.